they had to be stationed somewhere in town, so they chose to be at St. Peter's Church on Saturdays at noon, from noon to 2, to help us out. It was a wonderful gift to the community. So I like to point that out. And here is our ragtag group. Rana Nutku is our volunteer coordinator. She really is a volunteer. She is not paid to coordinate this project, and she farms 2-3 days a week up in Goshen, and she'll be working here in Portchester next year. And that, would you believe it, is our Reverend Bruce Baker. On Saturday. That's what he looks like on Saturday. And Reverend Ilario Albert, who is from St. Peter's Church, and that's me on a bad day. So, moving right along. The other thing that they wanted was an opportunity to share each other's skills and talents and to give back to the community. So we started that with a few workshops that took off and were very successful, and we will be doing some more. Now that the new director is here, he will figure out what it is that's manageable. We've had book and movie discussions. We've had group discussions on how to access services and town hall meetings that were really spectacular. The first one we put on was on sexuality in youth, addressing the teen pregnancy rate in the community. And the second one was on the availability of alcohol and drugs in the community, which we have in Portchester alone, we have 125 access points to alcohol, and that's a serious issue for underage drinkers. We've also done one on affordable housing and police-community relations, and the last one that we did was on how to create a livable community for all ages. So we'll move on. There's that sexuality in youth, and there's the next one, and next one. And this was one of the workshops that was done. Dave Thomas, who many of you know, with his son, Kyle, had attended a workshop presented by Tom Kistner, who was a former teacher and did a very amusing workshop and elucidating workshop on black cowboys and frontiersmen at Carver Center. And then we had another one that was that I didn't have a photograph of, but it was Doris Bailey Rivas who did one on the history of African American women in the United States and famous African American women. And that also we held at Carver Center. And now the Nitwits, that's a group that was created. We called it Knitting for a Cause. Too dry. They didn't like that. They renamed themselves the Nitwits. And they are a group of young and old who get together on Thursday afternoons and they knit squares, which that are then turned into blankets for the Open Door Family Medical Center's new moms for their babes. And there's another picture of them. The woman with the whitish hair in the center is actually a volunteer from another community who is committed to knitting, and that's a perfect example. She wanted to share her knitting expertise, and then she coalesced all these other people, and now she says there are people that have surpassed her that can do things she doesn't know how to do. But if somebody new comes in and says, I don't know how to knit, somebody will just say, well, come on, sit down and we'll teach you, and they're all addicted to this stuff, so it's great. Okay. In August, we met with Student Assistance Services, which runs a lot of programs in other school districts, not ours, to explore the possibility of bringing the communities that care process to Portchester. And the planning council that we had for all of these projects that we were doing voted to merge the two groups. So, moving on. So we took our original planning council, made up of a large number of agencies in the community and clergy and school districts, as well as the mayor, etc. And we merged that with the Communities That Care model, and now we have something that's sort of taken on a life of its own called the Portchester Cares Community Coalition. You'll see a lot more of that logo in the future. This is made up of 13 sectors. We've received a federal grant for this that requires 12 sectors, but we added a 13th, and that's the one in caps. We added seniors. The other communities across the country that have worked on this model had not done that, and we made quite a fuss at the National Convention of these coalitions when we talked about you can't exclude seniors from the process. And I think next year you'll probably see a lot more coalitions that have added that. But it pretty much, without seniors, had covered the map in terms of everybody that we needed to have involved in a coalition to make this community a better place for everyone. So we have a youth committee which meets on a regular basis and is busy doing things such as a study in Portchester of the bodegas and delis to see where they're placing their advertising. And they're doing a actual scored survey. Things are put in places that are convenient to young children or to teenagers that perhaps should be put in other places and not so readily accessible. So we received a grant, a 5-year grant totaling $625,000 for the whole 5 years. And with that, we've been able to hire a coordinator for the purpose of promoting positive, safe, productive, and healthy lives for all in the community. And we do that through research, education, and advocacy. That person has been on staff for a year and made tremendous inroads. So the $10,000 planning grant from the Helen Andrews Benedict Foundation and the United Way of Westchester has generated more than $1 million in new money for services in Portchester. It's generated more than $100,000 in in-kind services and thousands of volunteer hours. And that's an example of I'm very proud of that, but I'm very proud of it as a not-for-profit manager because that's what we do. We are able to take a very small amount of money and turn it into a much bigger opportunity, and we own that. Not-for-profits own that ability. And we have the opportunity to work collectively, to coalesce with others, and to work cooperatively with government and business and other not-for-profits. And that's how we pull this off.
Good job.
That's wonderful. Well, I just, please.
Bruce has to speak.
Bruce, did you want to say something? Oh, you have another?
Okay?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
What's your pen down?
Yeah. I'm not nearly as high-tech as Ann. On Sundays either, I'm not very high-tech. But I do feel comfortable here, I must say. But I just really want to echo what Ann said and let everyone know that none of this would have happened without Ann. Because Ann has really been the backbone, the engine, the energy behind a real redevelopment within the council. And the mission of the council is to do one thing really well, to coordinate the services of agencies within the community, to meet the needs with those agencies and with the community at large, to analyze where there are holes in services, and then to fill those holes. The community conversations, those 10 conversations that we had throughout the entire area with that 116 cohort of people, really helped us look at what the needs were in the community. And through the work of Ann and the board, we were able to meet those needs. We were able to put together the Portchester Fest, God's Green Market, the Nitwits, and all the rest that came under the community college. And it's there because we, as a council, want to make this community better all the way around. And while there are some who feel, well, what has the council done for me lately? We've made this community better is what we've done. We've enabled those who are in need to live better lives. We've provided for better health care and health information within the community. And we're here to let you know that and to ask for your help to do that. We're very grateful to have space in this building. It's a great place for us to be in terms of the council. And we're going to ask all of the municipalities in which we're involved with Portchester, with the Village of Portchester, the Village of Rye, and the Town of Rye for some financial help.